Good evening. It's Tuesday night.
June 25th.
Absolutely.
The year is halfway over. That's what I was thinking about today. The year is the year is almost over already.
Yeah, that's crazy. This year is flying by. It is flying by. I hope that you all have had a wonderful week, and I hope
since the last time we saw you.
Since the last time we saw you, or a wonderful day. How about that? A wonderful day. So while we're waiting for everybody to come on, we're getting our pages together. We're going live on Instagram.
Yep. YouTube, and Facebook.
Absolutely.
And once you come on, please say hello and make sure you share this
so that we know that you're on.
So we know that you're up here rocking with us on this Tuesday, June 25th, is it?
I don't know.
Is it June 25th?
Yeah, it's June 25th. Yeah. Wow. This year is flying by.
It's flying by.
It's going by.
Before you know it, we be throwing confetti and all that stuff again.
Yeah.
Which I look forward to that, but I don't like the cold weather. But hey, this day's just a blessing to be here. Cold, hot, rainy, snow, whatever.
Absolutely.
Just glad to be here.
Seriously. Any day, like the Wanda said, any day that is ends in the Y.
Yes.
That's a good thing. Hey, darling, what's up? How you doing? Do anybody got any summer plans? Big summer plans? This summer is going, like we said, it's going by so fast,
and we still haven't been on vacation. Our vacation is near the end.
Yeah.
Well, August, not near the end. Yeah, but it's all good though.
We still haven't been.
We're gonna have a great time, like we always do.
Absolutely, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. We're taking a vacation.
Yes, Lord, it's a blessing to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know who we are Key Players. I am Keisha, and this is my husband.
Savalas Roger.
Get your name.
I was looking at something over here caught my attention. Yeah.
And together we make Key Players, and we're all things marriage. We do couple events, we facilitate, and we host couple things. And Tasha, our first retreat. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Tasha. Sorry, I was looking at my phone over here. But hey, Tasha. Anyway, we're almost married for 17 years.
Next month
will be our month. So
July
I'm excited.
14th.
Yes, July 14th. We're excited about that. And we are SYMBIS certified, saving your marriage before it starts. So
if you are engaged,
background about us. Yes.
If you are engaged or thinking about marriage, you can reach out to us to take the SYMBIS test to see where you stand in your engagement ship, or even in your relationship. It was made for engaged couples, but I think some married couples should take it.
Yeah, we had to take it.
We took it.
Yeah,
and it'll tell you a lot about because maybe some things have changed.
Absolutely.
But it just gives you a reading and a gauge of where you are in your relationship, or if you engage. So it's good. So we are certified to do that. If you are interested, please reach out.
Or if you want to host a couples night at your house or wherever, at your clubhouse, your house, wherever you want to do it, and you just don't want to do the work or whatever, you just provide the food and call us. We'll be there.
Right.
We'll hook you up.
So. Or if you're looking for a marriage retreat to go to.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited about this one. It's our first marriage retreat. It's the Unlocked Marriage Retreat in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We're near Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's October the 11th through 13th. And we are super excited about this. We're excited about the couples who are coming. We still have like a few more spaces left. And I know that they will be filled, but we are super excited about this. It's going to be a 3-day marriage retreat, a time to focus on your spouse and each other, leaving your daily routine behind. And we're gonna have a private chef that's gonna be providing dinner Friday night. Well, yeah, we're gonna be having dinner Friday night, Saturday morning, and dinner Saturday night. And we're gonna have key moment sessions or discussions. I'm looking forward to that because I know that's gonna be power packed.
And it's needed.
Yes, and it's gonna be some time to rekindle and connect. You're gonna have some time to spend with your spouse and to connect. So we hope that the couples leave with a deeper understanding of each other and just a refresher. So we're excited about that. We kept it intimate and small for a purpose and a reason, because some people don't like to open up around a large crowd or whatever. So we wanted this to be more intimate and and more focused. So we're excited about that. This is gonna be a good time.
And if you're not married or if you're not able to go, you can tell someone who may be interested or may need it. It doesn't take anything to share a flyer. It's just a click of a button.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie, or just by word of mouth. If, like I said, if you're not married or if you are not able to go, share the information, share the flyer, tell someone, hey, I know a couple that's planning a marriage retreat, blah, 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 blah. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely.
And like I said, before we get started, if you're up here, share the live. You never know who may be in need. You really don't know.
Right. We're freezing. I don't know why.
And I hate
connection, that. Yeah, we got Spectrum. That's a whole nother story. But anyway.
Sorry for freezing.
Yes. Sorry for freezing.
We'll work on that,
let's get started to talk about this topic at hand, right? So our topic tonight is don't let this ruin your marriage. Don't let this ruin your marriage. And this is what are we talking about tonight?
This we are referring to is the family that you left in order to have the family you created. That's the this.
Absolutely.
The this is your family that brought you into this world, birthed you and raised you to be the great man or woman that you are. And God knows that was a blessing and we're grateful. But sometimes that family can have a tendency to cause problems in the family that you are now responsible for, the family that you are now in, the family that you have created or trying to create with your spouse. It can be a touchy subject,
very touchy.
Especially when you're talking about people's family, especially if it's parents or siblings or nieces and whatever. If it's your family and if you come from a close family, this can be a touchy subject, but it must be addressed. Trust me.
It must be addressed.
Trust
Choosing your family and friends over your spouse.
And friends too. I left that part
right? Because sometimes people are not close with their family, but they won't leave them friends.
Right.
Trust and believe, right? They're not gonna leave those friends. So choosing your family and friends over your spouse. This, like he said, this goes for both women and men.
Women
this goes for both
men.
of us, right? This go for both of us. So I got my notes over here. I don't know what Simone's got, but I got my notes over here because this was like a hot topic. Thank God we haven't had to deal with it. Right. So I'm grateful for that. But I've known people who have, and what's
up, Netta? Well,
so this is the thing.
One thing, let me say before. One reason why we really haven't had to deal with it a lot is because we brought it out in open. We talked about it. We both realized that we do come from different backgrounds, different way of doing
totally
things.
Totally different families.
Hey, totally different way of doing things, but we talked about it.
Right.
And and got some stuff out on the table. You all have heard us say 1,000 times how we do our holidays.
And it works for us.
So one way, before Keisha gets into what she has and I get into what I have, is you need to bring it out in the open. Talk about it.
And this needs to happen before you get married.
Absolutely.
Like before you get married. But just in case it didn't.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. It's never too late. Never. Choosing your family and friends over your spouse. Right? I'm talking about your mama, your daddy, your sisters, your brothers, your best friend, whoever it is. I said whoever it is.
Whoever.
Right?
Whoever. Yeah.
Whoever it is.
Yeah.
When you do this, listen, if you choose your family over your spouse, this is gonna cause problems. It is. It's just gonna cause problems. That's what I wrote. Right. It sends a message to your spouse that they are second. They playing second fiddle,
Right.
or maybe even third.
Wow. Yeah,
Right?
that's true. That's true.
Right. So it sends a message to your spouse that they were always gonna come second or third,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna cause some issues in your house. Right? It can make your spouse feel. This is what I wrote, in my opinion. It can make your spouse feel as if you don't care. You'll break your neck and go out your way for your family.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happens? When it comes to me,
Right. And
Right.
and in actuality, when you don't put your spouse first, you're not putting yourself first, because you two are supposed to be one.
Absolutely.
If you're doing marriage the right way. And not only do you not put your spouse first, you don't put your marriage first. Because I believe that people treat your marriage the way you treat your marriage.
That's the truth.
That's what I believe.
That's even down to your kids.
That's so important.
Right?
People, children will treat your marriage the way you treat your marriage. So if you treat your marriage as a priority, if you treat your marriage as something that is important to you, if you treat your marriage as something that is to be respected, 9 times out of 10, that's how people are going to come at you in your marriage. But if you are not as serious about marriage as you should be, if you put your spouse on the back burner, if you talk reckless about your spouse to your friends and family, then that's what you're telling whoever you're talking to is okay for them to do also.
Yep, absolutely.
So I had to throw that in there. I know that.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
And you have to set boundaries with your family as well. Like he said, you can't have your family out here talking about your spouse all sideways, and you sitting up there agreeing with them.
Right.
Right. Or either not even that, not even agreeing with them. You sitting up there not even defending them.
Right. Right.
Right. You going with it.
Because you're being loved. So even like, say if a family member is talking about your spouse, your silence is in agreement with what they're saying to me. Because first of all, they shouldn't even feel that comfortable to come out of their mouth to talk about your spouse in any kind of way, whether they like you or not. That's not even the issue. You don't have the right to go there. Now, even if they sorry, because my wife told me this. She said, yeah, you jump in something, but then they get back with the person.
Yeah.
Then how you look stupid. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Mind you, and now unless somebody's life is in danger.
Oh,
I know that's different.
But go ahead.
That's different. Now somebody's life is in danger. You may want to step. Is your wife off?
Yes.
Yeah, you may want to step in there, but I'm talking about just the normal day-to-day stuff that couples go through. Mind your business.
Yes.
But anyway, we're getting off subject.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. I says you have to make it clear to people that your spouse and the family y'all created is the priority.
Right. That's right.
And they should respect that. If they're your family, they should respect that. They should. But
right.
Sometimes we got all kinds, right, in our families.
Yes.
If you can't do this, then maybe you were not ready for marriage. Maybe you were not ready to be a husband, and maybe you were not ready to be a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, your family is gonna say, "Oh, they changed. They changed since they got married." They gonna say that.
Who changed?
Especially, like for example, they're like, "Oh, you changed
since
you
got
married.
you
changed since you got married."
Yeah.
Especially because they know that you're not a non-confrontational person,
mm-hmm.
and you would normally the peacemaker of the family. But when you stand up for your spouse, then they got something to say.
Right.
They're gonna say that you changed.
Right.
But in actuality, you are protecting and making your spouse the priority.
That's right.
Right.
And a lot of times, family will guilt trip you into doing what it is that they want you to do.
Yeah.
Once you get married,
friends.
Or friends.
We gotta throw friends in there.
Gotta throw friends in there too.
Right now, some people will kick you to the curb for their friend.
Yeah, which I don't understand, but hey, they will try to guilt trip you into being who they are used to. Because what a lot of families struggle with is once you say I do, whoever you were to them, you are no longer that same person. Whatever order they had you in their lives, it changes. Because it changes for the married couple also. So if your mom was number one, when you get married, she automatically loses that spot. If your dad was number one, when you got married, before you got married, and once you get, he automatically loses that spot. No questions asked. Now, you may have to give some of them an adjustment period. You may have to wean them off you, but it has to be done because marriage and your spouse must come first, even with your children, which
Ooh,
in the
that's
Black
a hard one,
community,
y'all, but
I'm gonna say
that's
this.
true. It's a hard one. I had to learn that one myself, but go ahead.
Yes, even especially I'm gonna say in our community, because in our community, and some of you all may disagree, we were taught to be parents more so than we were taught to be a husband and wife. You know, more emphasis has been put on being a good parent than being a good husband and wife in our community, in my opinion. And so what happens is we think once we get married that the children still trump the spouse, which is completely false. Because all you're doing is creating another set of adults who are going to be just like you, in the wrong.
Absolutely.
Now, I know it's work because them kids got to eat.
Hey, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy. Them kids got to eat. Them kids got to do that. Them kids don't have no job to go to. Them kids not paying any bills. They have no responsibility. So the people that need
and them
to eat,
kids gonna leave one day.
No, and there you go. Them kids gonna leave one day.
They're gonna leave one day.
Mhm.
Trust and believe. You will be empty nesters one day.
Which brings me to another point, which is why it's so important to make sure you all are so connected, because once them kids leave, your marriage changes.
Oh, yes, it does.
I know I was dead, but
Yeah.
it changed for the better.
It changed for the but it does change. It does change.
Because a lot of the focus,
that was a transition.
That was a transition. We talked about that before. I was actually frightened.
Me too.
I was scared because I didn't know all that time and energy that we had going to stepkids. What about stepkids? Oh, explain yourself, Richie. All that time and energy we was putting towards kids was free energy. Now, what do you do with it? Luckily, we found something to do with it, you know, and it has just been wonderful.
But it is a difference. It's a difference.
It is a difference.
Yeah, it definitely is. So we're talking about putting your family first.
No, that you created.
Right, that you created.
Yes.
Putting your wife first, your
Yeah.
spouse, your husband or your wife 1st,
Mhm.
that you created, and not letting your family
Mhm.
damage that'll come between that.
Right.
What were we at? We talked about your family, letting your family make you feel guilty
Mhm.
about choosing your spouse and your house,
Mhm.
of what goes on in your house. You don't let your family make you feel guilty. We talked about that. This comes to lending money.
Ooh,
That's a big one.
that's a big one.
Lending money. I'm gonna say that again. You do not lend money. Well,
Consistently.
consistently,
Yeah.
no, without your spouse knowing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Without
okay.
your spouse knowing.
Okay, yeah. We're talking
Right.
about big lump sum, $20.
Right.
You
We
know,
talking about lump
We talking about
sum.
nice sums. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Something that's gonna affect coming out your household.
Now-
that.
Now, you know, before you go on, let me say that. Now, that's us. If you're in a household where that $20 means something, then talk to your spouse about it. I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, that
'cause-
makes sense.
yeah.
Allowing someone to
Hey,
move
Susan.
allowing someone to move in your house now. That's a discussion that needs to take place.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
That is definitely a discussion that needs to take place.
Because if it doesn't, it shows a lack of respect for your spouse.
Yes.
A lack of respect for your spouse.
People telling you how to raise your children.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You got family members that say, especially if it's a wife and she's a new mother.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have family members trying to come in and you taking the side of the family members, not your wife.
Well, mama said the baby don't need to lay like that. That
Yes.
type of thing. Yeah, stuff like that.
That's gonna cause some problems.
That's gonna cause some problems.
That is gonna cause some
That
problems.
is gonna cause some problems.
Hey Susan. Hey Samara. Anyway.
Especially if you got a strong-willed wife, that's gonna cause some problems.
It's gonna cause some problems even if you don't have a strong wife.
Okay.
Because then you'll have a wife that's holding all that stuff on the inside.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right. And you'll be walking around like, what's wrong with her?
Right. True.
So even if you don't have a strong-willed wife,
True.
that's still gonna cause some issues.
True. That's true.
Right? If you got the non-confrontational wife.
See, this is the type of stuff people do not think about before they walk down the aisle. That we talk about so much and people just don't listen. So many people get caught up in the actual wedding and don't think about this type of stuff. Don't think about the money. Don't think about sex. Don't think about raising the kids. You know, they just know we're going to have a good time. I know every color I want. I know what the bridesmaid's hair supposed to look like. I got the makeup to cover her tattoos. They can give you all that stuff, but they don't talk about stuff like this.
Right. And Tasha said, and it shows that the couple doesn't communicate with each other.
Absolutely. That's a good one.
And they will show, trust me. And
Absolutely.
then they will see that little crack. And let me tell you, then the problems will start.
Mm-hmm.
I say, let me say, if your spouse comes to you and express to you that they feel like that you put your family and friends first, you need to reevaluate some things,
Mm-hmm.
right? You need to take a moment, take a step back, and reevaluate. Don't be dismissive
Right.
and defensive,
Right.
because that's easier to go to be dismissive and defensive,
Right.
Right? You need to listen, and you need to start changing,
Right. Immediately.
because it's a reason why they feel this way,
Right.
right? It's a reason why they feel this way. And what would you say to those who said, well, I just, I've said something to him or I've said something to her and nothing changes? Because I've known people like that.
My first question would probably be, how did you say it? In what way did you present the issue that you were having? Because Lord knows that the way you say something can determine it determines the way it is perceived. So my first question would be, how did you present it? Did you present it in a respectful way? Did you present it when I'm just waking up in the morning? Did you present it when I'm walking out the house to go to work? Did you say it while I'm watching the game? Did I say it while you on the phone with your girlfriend? How was it presented? Was it presented in a way that it can be received? That would be my first question.
Okay. I say that your spouse got to be mature enough to receive what you are saying. Hopefully you married the right one.
Right.
Because
there's a lot of people married to the wrong person.
Absolutely.
Keisha trying to sugarcoat around it.
No, absolutely.
Truth.
Well, because I'm sure all of us have been in relationships or something like that where we felt like this ain't the one. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is.
Right.
And if you got somebody over here that's too immature to handle what you're trying to say,
mm-hmm.
then we're not working together. How about that? So that's what I would say. What do y'all say in that situation? What do y'all say if you have a spouse and you constantly telling them or trying to talk to them about this situation, about their family, about them putting their friends first,
mm-hmm.
and they not even changing, they not even trying to change? How would you handle that situation?
Because trust me, it happens.
Yes. How would you handle that situation?
Yeah. Or should I say it is happening?
Right. It happens in a lot of people's marriages.
Yeah. And it can be avoided, and let me skip around because I wrote down some of the reasons why a husband or a wife may feel reluctant to pull away from their family. You know what I mean? And one of the things I came up with was a lack of trust, because there are some things that no matter how close you are as a married couple, it shouldn't be this way. You always know your family got your back because they know you from the beginning. They knew you from incubator up into a king size bed. They may know some of your deepest, darkest secrets. They may have struggled with you. They may have won with you. So you just have a tendency to have more trust in your mom, your dad, your sisters, and your brother, because that's blood, depending on what kind of family you came from. So I think a lot of times the lack of trust causes us to hold on to that family we supposed to be leaving in order to start the one that we create.
That could be true.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, he wrote a lot. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go back to, what was we talking? We're going to go back. Let's read what Richie said. He said, stepchildren can introduce new dynamics to a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
As
they are not your biological children.
Mm-hmm.
They can sometimes lead to power shifts in your marriage when one person supports the children over the spouse. We can talk about that.
We can talk about that kind of, sort of, because I'm even though I don't use this term a lot, I'm the step parent in this dynamic. But the thing is, I didn't have any biological children. So, there was nobody to pull or try to pull on Keisha, or pull, should I say, try to divide or pull on me to get more from me once Keisha and I was introduced to each other. Now, I don't know if we ever experienced that. Would you say with our two? I don't remember experience, even though everything you're saying is true, Richie, and that does happen. And we know of cases where step kids did use that to try to come between the parents. But still, step kids or biological, they still take a second place to your marriage. And your spouse has to recognize what the child is doing. You know, at this point, it doesn't matter if it's your biological child or not. They still come second to you all. Because kids know who they can get what from. And they will use that to intervene and to divide and conquer. But we really never had that issue.
Right.
I don't think we did.
Right. And I would say that as a spouse, you have to like we said before, like with me, I was a single parent before we got together. So I was calling all the shots.
Right.
You know, and I had to relinquish some of that. And that was hard.
Right.
Right. I was calling all the shots and before we got married and stuff like that. So that was hard for me. So with the children, you know, you gonna protect yours.
Right.
You know, that's how you feel. But you have to, as a spouse, I had to trust him.
Right.
Once again, it's all about trust.
Right.
Right. So I had to relinquish some of that. And that was hard. And it's still a journey.
Right.
Right. So.
And that didn't happen overnight.
No.
I had to prove that I had their best interest in hand. You know, I had to prove myself in that area. Because like she said, she had been so single for so long. So.
Yes. Hey. That's the DC. We met him at the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. She says, as a bonus mom, we talked about this and we became a united front and we are one. And the kids follow suit because they couldn't divide us.
Right.
And once they know that,
right,
everybody's on the same page.
Everybody's on the same page. But once again, this leads back to communication because thinking back on our journey, there were certain things that when I came into the picture, I said, well, you know what, this is gonna have to change. You know, once we get married, you know, it's gonna have to be some changes here, you know, because Keisha was the more lenient one.
Yes,
between the two of us, and that had it not been addressed, could have been used to divide us. But I had to speak up, you know, not that she was a bad parent, because Lord knows she wasn't, but she was just more lenient. I've said this 1,000 times. At the time, they didn't really have a curfew. They just went to bed whenever.
But he had to learn how to become a little bit more, I don't want to say soft-hearted or whatever. Is that a good word? I don't know. He had to learn how to be a nurturer.
There you go.
To me, he had to learn how to become a nurturer.
Right.
Because he didn't have any biological kids.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Or kids, or wasn't around children, or whatever. So he had to become more of a nurturer.
Right.
So we did have to find that united front.
Right.
And come together.
And what we found was we created structure. That's the word. Kids had to have structure, biological or step. And once we did that, then they knew it was like clockwork.
She sounded like my husband. I'm the mean one.
Yeah. Well, no, not me, but more the disciplinarian. You know, I just couldn't fathom, you know, at the times our kid was 11, Zion was 17 months, and we could be on the phone and it's 12 o'clock and they still up. I'm like, come on, man. You know, they put them kids to bed, you know. So we never really had that same problem, Richie, but I understand where you're coming from. And kids will use, if you all are not a united front, they will use that against you, especially step kids, because then you got to bring the other parent in the picture, you know, and God only knows what they would use to go back and tell that parent to benefit them. Right. You know, so. Okay. So getting back, what would you say to those who disagree with this, who disagree with, no, your mama should come first, or your daddy, or, you know, your spouse should not come first? What would you say to that? If you are single and you feel that way, I would say don't get married. Don't get married. Period. Point blank. Marriage may not be for you. And Lord knows there's nothing wrong with loving your family. We love our families. But if you are going to do marriage the right way, if you're going to do it the biblical way, then marriage may not be for you. If you're going to always, no, my mama come first. That's my, okay, well, let her come first. But don't marry nobody to make them second. Yep. Yeah, don't do that. And then another, go ahead.
No, no, no. I was gonna say, I've heard people say, why should it be? It's like a you making it like a competition. Why should it be like a competition?
There's no competition if I tell you who's first. There's nothing to compete for. This is who's first. And that's not easy for everybody. And one of the reasons it's not easy for everybody because everybody didn't grow up seeing that.
Absolutely.
You tend to have a marriage kind of based off what you know and what you saw. So, a lot of stuff that I may say is not because I'm so great. It's just what I saw. I saw my mom and dad put each other first over us. My mom was telling me a story maybe a month or two ago. We was talking about something marriage related, where she had to check her sister, may God rest her soul, because once they got married, her sister and her brother, her sister had a tendency to call the house and wouldn't acknowledge my dad. And wouldn't speak. He'd pick up the phone and wouldn't even say hello. She wouldn't say hello to him. You know what I'm saying? Or her brother would come over the house, and if she could, he'd sit down and fix his plate. And my daddy hadn't even got home and had anything to eat yet. That had to be checked. And she did it early on in their marriage, that in the first year of their marriage.
So she set the standard.
So she set a standard
and then
for the family to follow suit.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Quick fix, put the bill second.
Huh?
He said, quick fix, put the bill second.
Put the bill second?
Yes. Your spouse always come first. If you don't respect that, then don't get married.
Don't get married. It may not be for you. It may not be for you. And like I said, another reason why some people find this hard to do, because they are so tied to traditions. Oh, the Robinson family, every year, this is what we do for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We take a trip to the beach and we get a log cabin.
That's a hard one, y'all. Not for me, but that's a hard one.
We get a log cabin and we do this. Well, your husband or your wife may be totally opposed to that. What you gonna do? Or in our house, here's a big one. In our family, this is the family church. This is the church we go to. My uncle Robert Earl William III II, right Reverend Doctor. This is his church, and this is where we go to church to. Where we go to church. No, I don't want to go there. I know him. I know what he's preaching, he ain't living. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we get caught, and traditions are good, but once you get married, you may have to break some of those.
You start your own tradition.
There you go. You start your own tradition.
Yeah, you start your own traditions. I mean, because you start this is your family. You start a new family.
Right.
Right? And the Bible says, you leave.
Cleave is the word.
Yes.
Cleave. And we should have put the scriptures up where it says that a man cleave from his mother and father, and him and his wife become one flesh. And then I was like, well, what the woman do? Because it said man. So I start I'm not reading, but I start looking up, and the reason why it specifically stated man leave, because the man is the one who has to set the example. So I can't expect her to cleave and leave her family if I'm still a mama's boy up under my mama, every day telling her all my business and relying on her for this and that. My wife is not going to follow suit because I'm putting all of my energy into my mother.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I was so independent. It was hard for me, but once I learned how to be a wife, I understood I was taught wrong.
And we hate to admit that some things that we grew up was just dead wrong.
And it may not work for your family.
Your new family we're talking about. That's a hard pill to swallow because you love your family so much. But just some stuff that ain't right.
And I was independent too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very independent.
Very independent. But she loosened up. But like I said, that was earned. I had to earn the right for her to loosen up. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes time. This successful marriage does not happen overnight. It is, like I said, I think the last time we talked, marriage is not crock pot. I mean, it's not a microwave, it's crock pot. Slow and simmer.
Absolutely.
Hey, Stephanie. And another reason why people have a tendency to hold on to that is out of just straight fear. They're just scared to let go. You know, scared to let go of mama, scared to let go of daddy, you know, as it relates to putting your spouse first. Because you, like Keisha said earlier, you don't know how they're going to react. You don't know if they're going to.
I am too.
Huh?
She says I've been married for 22 years and I'm still learning.
We all are.
Yes, that's an everyday thing.
It's what up, B? We all still learning.
Right.
And when you stop learning, that's a problem because you think you know everything.
And then when he said fear, get back to that, scared to let go of your mom and scared to let go of your family or your friend or whoever it is that you have to let go of. And it's not necessarily let go of them. It's just, you know, but your mother as a mom, my daughter's married, right? She's married. And I don't want to get in the midst of her affairs. Right. You know what I mean? Like I want to let her go and be great and and raise her kids. And now if she comes to me, that's different. Correct. Right.
Because you're always gonna be a parent.
Right. You're always gonna be a parent, no matter how old they become. Right. But that's different. But let them go and your mom let you go to be your family. Let them release. Right. Right. Release so that they can be great. And they can continue on. Right.
And let them be an example to their children.
Exactly.
You know.
Because somebody's always watching. We talked about that as well.
Yes, we have, and we may have to revisit it. Yeah, somebody is, and you may not know who is watching you, but some, and we did a lesson on this some time ago. And one of the reasons why it's so important, you may be the one in your family who finally does marriage the right way. You may be the curse breaker in your family who finally shows this is how marriage is supposed to be done. You don't know. That may be you. You know, you let them see that it's not easy. Yep. You let them see that it involves hard work, but you let them see, or you show them that it is possible and it can happen if you're willing to do the necessary stuff.
But you have to be willing to do the necessary stuff. Right. And you got to keep people out your business. And that's a whole nother topic. But you just have to keep people out your business.
You have to keep family out of your business. Because, you know, sometimes you're just so comfortable with your family. You have to watch what comes out of your mouth when you're talking about family. You know, talking to your family about your spouse is what I meant to say.
Right. Because I know y'all already know this. They're going to still be mad.
Right.
When you love this person, they really don't.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you just got to be very careful with that. So
yes, she said she definitely broke that divorce curse. That's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah,
that's a blessing.
Not only breaking the divorce curse, breaking the single parent curse, breaking the deadbeat dad curse. You know, breaking the infidelity curse. You know,
or the deadbeat mom.
Or the deadbeat mom. Yeah, or the deadbeat mom. All of that is stuff that you may be the one that does that. So take this serious. You know. Like we always say, it is not easy, but it's worth it if you do it the right way.
And it can be rewarding.
Very, 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 very rewarding.
It can be very rewarding.
You know, the better you may be in that what you don't want to do. I can definitely say I'm a better person being married to her. There's no doubt about it.
That goes both ways.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I believe I don't rubbed off on him and he has rubbed off on me.
Right. In a good way. In a good way, the good stuff about her and the good stuff about me, the stuff that I need. How about that? Right. The stuff, there are certain things about her that I needed, and there are certain things about me that she needed. Yes, you have to keep folks out of y'all marriage. You do.
You always got, yes. Please,
you do.
Please, yes. Because they'll be mad and then you still be sitting over here looking crazy.
Right. And then we almost finished. We got a couple more things why this is so important. Number one, it shows honor and respect to your spouse when you put them first. There it is. Thank you. Genesis 2:24. Your brother said this is the scripture you were. Thank you, my brother. Yes, it is. Yeah, I should have posted it, but yeah, that is the one. Yeah, thank you. When you do that, it shows honor and respect for your spouse, which is important. Number two, it shows your spouse and your family that you all have a solid foundation. Like I said earlier, people treat your marriage how you treat your marriage. If you loose and shaky, they're going to speak to you and talk to you and deal with you loose and shaky. You know what I mean? Number three, it creates stronger intimacy. Now, I was shocked when I saw that. I guess that would stem from the honor and respect show. It creates a stronger intimacy between the two of you. Number
It stems from the trust too.
and the trust. That
Like if I
too.
can trust you,
That's
I'm going,
true.
of course, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true too.
Yes.
That's
a big deal.
Amen, Yati. Thank you. The next one, number 4, when things get tough, it can create that. Wait a minute. When things get tough, you can count on each other. You know, back to back. I know she got my back. She know I got hers.
Once again, that's trust.
That's trust. This is all a trust thing.
That's trust.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, like you was talking about earlier, money. If I get in a bind, or we get in the bind, she get in the bind, and look, I need money for such and such. I don't want to hear, well, I just loaned mama them $20,000. You did what? And I didn't know about
You
it.
ain't got to worry about that.
Well, her, I ain't worried about that. They lucky they get $2, so I ain't worried about 20 going nowhere. So yeah, but that's just, you know, using that as an example. And lastly, now this is something that nobody wants to even think about, admit. There will come a day where your mom and dad may not be here anymore.
Absolutely.
And you definitely gonna need that shoulder to lean on and support you, you know, and be that shoulder to cry on, you know. But that's gonna be difficult if you haven't put your marriage first and you put your family before your spouse, because then you're gonna leave room for your spouse to have resentment towards your family. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They can't even mourn with you. You know, because they so caught up in the resentment that they had towards your family that you created.
Or better yet, not even death, that your parent can get sick. Like
True.
We are in the stage now. Yes, we are empty nesters, but our parents are older.
All in their 70s.
Right? They are older. So your parents can get sick and might need to come stay with you for a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
We experienced that.
Right. So if you don't have that
bond,
that could be a problem.
That could be a problem. And we got tested, but luckily our bond was tight where we made it through. Where now there are certain situations, you know, where like a sickness where you do have to take a back seat to that. You know what I'm saying? That's just common sense. Mom in the hospital having a surgery, dad, you know, you may need to take a back seat to things like that. We're talking about where everybody's good, you know, on a normal day-to-day basis. But there are certain situations where you have to take a seat back. That's called not being selfish.
Which is a big part of
marriage as well. You know, take a back seat and let my wife, and the crazy thing is, when she did that last year, I had a whole new respect for her because she just jumped in and was doing everything. I mean, she was handling her. She was still being a wife. She was still being a mother. She was running a business and being a nurse all in one.
You do what you got to do.
You do what you got to do. It gave me a whole new respect for her. So, absolutely. You know, we make room for situations like that. What's up, Davita?
Hey, Davita.
So, yeah. So, you know, that's another thing in marriage that people have a tendency not to think about before they walk down the aisle. But it is paramount that you realize once you say I do and you exchange these rings, that person after God is the most important person in your life. That includes your children. We could do a whole topic on that because you can't convince sisters that their kid comes second to any man or vice, you know, or convince a man that the children come second to the woman. I think that's a community. That's a black people thing. I could be wrong.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I just think it is. I could be wrong.
That could just be a mother thing, or some dads.
Or some
dads. In the business that I'm in, I've seen dads.
That's
that
true.
Could be a mother or dad.
That's true. I could be wrong, but that's just what I think.
All right. So don't just put it towards sisters or
right.
You know, don't do that. Anyway.
But I had no experience with no other woman besides sisters, so that's all I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
make that clear.
Yeah. In the past. Yeah.
Anyway,
Miss Maria.
So we're talking about don't let your family, your friends, anybody ruin your marriage. Come in between you.
Right.
Keep that bond tight.
Right.
Do the things. Take what we said tonight. Hopefully, it helps somebody.
Right.
Because we've seen a lot of people, and it can happen to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen to anybody.
Like I said earlier, how you treat your marriage That's how people are going to treat your marriage.
Absolutely.
Make your marriage something that, one of my prayers is that our marriage is an example of how marriage is supposed to be. Whenever I pray, that's one of the prayers that I say, that we are a positive example of what marriage is and supposed to be. We are not perfect.
No.
By no stretch of the imagination. You know, it ain't always peaches and cream, but it's more peaches and cream than sour grapes. I can say that. You know,
sour grapes.
Sour grapes. You know, we have way more great and good days than we have bad days, and that's a blessing. You know, I don't know if that has something to do with us being together as long as we have, coming up on 17 years next month, 21 together. You know, but we have way more good days than bad days.
And we get along. We're friends.
We do. We are friends.
Right. So
yes.
And
we had a discussion. I think she is my best friend. I really think she is. I think she is.
Wow, that's so nice.
I think she is. We talk and gossip to each other more than I do to her, you know. So I think she has hit the best friend button for me. And that's okay. That is okay. It is wonderful to be married to your friend. But even still, that friend must know that I come first, and I must know that she come first. Period. It is no way around it. No way around it. Like, I know we've been up here 46 minutes. My friend is ready to eat.
Y'all, that's why I stopped talking.
That's why she stopped talking. Yeah. So as much as I love y'all,
when I get hangry,
my friend is ready to eat. So my friend's growling stomach must come before you all. As much as I would love to sit here and keep talking to you, my friend,
so well.
I know her so well. My friend is ready to eat.
Yes, I am.
With that being said, am I right or wrong?
You are so right.
I am right. So
y'all see how I was going in and out of thought.
Yeah, she was thinking about where we gonna eat after this. Because the times we get our work, by the time I get home and set everything, we really don't have time to eat.
Yes, exactly.
You know, so we come and do this.
And we try to stay consistent.
So
thank y'all for rocking with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So y'all, I love you, but friend is ready to chew on something dead.
Oh my God.
So okay. Before we get off, we just want to thank you all once again for rocking with us. We hope we said something that will be beneficial to you. You can still share the live so other people can check it out.
Make sure to share. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. But make sure to share or tell somebody about our upcoming marriage retreat, the Unlocked Marriage Retreat, which is October the 11th through 13th. Mm-hmm. Make sure to share. And we do have a couple more spaces available. So yes, we do. And we're sorry for the freezer. We're gonna get that worked out. The free, that's irritating. We gotta upgrade. What's up, Quentin? We got to upgrade our Wi-Fi, y'all, because we can't have that. You know, that's irritating to me anyway. Yes. If we gonna come up here, we got to be up here right. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Enjoyed you. Thank you for good seeing you again. Samara. Hear from you, I should say. Samara, what's up? So you all have a blessed night. Be ready and tune in when we come on again. That'll be in another week and a half. I'm hopefully, God willing. You know, and we're going to keep this thing going. And like we always say, if you have something that you need discussed, hit us up, inbox us. We don't, or we won't share or say any names. Right, if it's a private matter that you don't want your name out, but you do want to hear other people's opinion, hit us up. Yep, absolutely. Good night, everybody. Peace. Thank you.